All right, let's get into the 24-hour Charlie Kirk clock a little bit, because we got the 25 coming on the lowering of points with that Jerome on those 7 hills. So the teachers of end times, like, well, Antichrist has to be from the European, or it has to be from Israel. All those things are blinding and deafening in the program, so you cannot understand the parable, the allegory, the metaphor of the spirit of the word. Okay? The kingdom of God does not exist in word. This is where the word can be manipulated, and the kingdom of God rests inside of every single one of you. And you know this because you have a heart that beats, and you have a mind that thinks, with God tuning into you. But the begotten sons, those carnal gods out here, have blinded you and deafened you, and now the watchers are here upon you. And we hear the TikTok session on the 917. We understand the 24-hour clock on the 288 months, on the 88 time machine, and Trump equal 88, and the Biff Tannen based on Trump, and he's that time machine mechanism that ties to your Tesla, and your Tesla is before you with the Tesla and the test of men and the test scores and all these things, this high school, the tracking of men, the numbering of men, your social security numbers, the tests you've taken in schools. All these things are still going on as the smart meter is upon your house, and things are elevating or lowering in frequencies, and these things are a combination upon the earth as physical and spiritual come into our hands. And at the right hand is placed where the heart is, and this king, the king size, this chessboard, the checkers, all those things are all coming in as you have consumed, and you become that Big Bang cosmos ball earth rotating around that begotten sun, and your orbit, and the Bitcoin is before you for that decor session and the declaring of that LA quake and the tsunami and whatever else is coming for these areas. But the La La Land is here as that Francis Ford DC copula has broken out in one form or fashion. Okay, so and the France for Don, and he's already told his people to prepare for war in the hospitals and stuff, and this is part of that French revelation coming upon the earth as far as a hard setting. The 24 on 9/11 has passed by. 24 carries over into the 25. You're going on to that 25 as Jerome lowers those points, and that the light on 7 hills with the 7 lights and all those things. We're seeing the tariffs and the ports and the spy sessions and the fusariums and all those things lining out in the garden as the garden grows dark in that midnight court. And I know about the garden on the midnight court because that's when you start planting seeds, and you get to a point where you gotta flower out all the females, test them out, and then once you flower out all the females and test them out, you gotta dry and cure them and see what's going on. And that's kind of what's been going on now with the years since this RNA thing is rested, and the ribonucleic acid and that self-replicating mechanism and all those things for that biogenesis time frame is upon us as the new heaven and earth is here. So that's where they're watching this, that, and the other with this AI. in one way, shape, or form. But as it's gathering this intelligence, it knows when to break this, that, and the other open to carry in this projection of the SS, where it mixes the religions and the myths and the politics and all these things that we're given in our world today as bringing into one, to where this myth or these gods that walk the earth in one day before, where it's coming in to where it's happening now. And then these begotten sons were read about in the Genesis 1, and then these sons go into the Lord Godhood, the Amun-Ra's, where they lead the garden in one aspect, the Adam and the Eves, and this is where the spectrum goes on for a certain amount of time. The people who turn into the Adams for the freedoms and the all those things that went on. So as this is turning into this, that, and the other, and then you have the projection of the mothership and aliens and all these things playing into a role. This is where it goes into this point, and then it comes out and it creates a new church, while the old church will peter in and peter out. Okay, and the peter in, peter out is part of this, the Lord dying in Sodom for the XXX and the PP session, because you're in or you're out. Okay, so that's kind of tying into the PP session and the you in or you out for the blue helmet session that's coming for this RNA and the roundup, and those kinds of things will lead to where this ID, the Israel IDs, come open, and then that's going to project to where these things get locked down, and then where you can get world citizenship in another way, because you may want to leave that main stage on the world stage as far as that concert on the America. I'm going to do another video with this Shakespeare, Bible, King, right hand, Hollywood, World Wars, all these things right before us, the merge with the presidents, boom, 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 boom. And either way, we're right here, folks, and we got a 14 clock, the 42 and the Matthew, and this lines up with the 84 to the 2026, which is a 48, and that's 48 on the 48 if that gets extended to a long frame, but it should be shortening of days. But so this 48 on the 48 and all those are day 2 setting up as the lights are divided, and we see the lights dividing, where we see like Trump doing America English language and the border on one type of nationalism or whatever, and the ICE, and then we have Elon Musk doing another type of nationalism, America, you can do all things, that kind of thing, and then we have the Christian nationalism, that kind of thing setting up. So this is where the 7 lights are all connecting like through a nationalism on one level, and then you'll have like the Christian lights setting up on this level, and then the money level, because the dollar is the main god as far as America, and that's where this main god is coming into the capstone, the AI, and the Bitcoin, and the Bitcoin is where you've already been bit, and now the lead is coming, and that heal session, yanking you and training you and getting your spirit back into a line, because your spirit has been pushed out carnally, and since it's been pushed out carnally, your body's like trying to stretch out and grow round and trying to touch it and all that kind of shit. So that's where your begotten sons and your earth's magnetic pulls, the MAGA net tick, the TikTok pulls, and we saw the things going on in Nepal, that Nepal rider, that Pell rider with a fire and that lake of fire. It's all coming, folks. Okay, so that 29/11 event kind of sparking up on different levels, and we've been tracking these. This Charlie Kirk, the Kirkumcision, the Labor Day, the 8 days, all those things are lining up. The head wound on the people, and then this Kirkumcision, the head wound on the pecker, and the pecker's the woodpecker, and the wood is tied to your oak, and the dragon, and the dragon's the drug on, and the drug, and the tied to your China. All these things are going together. Okay, so if you're just now tuning in, you should probably follow, because you're way left behind. Okay.